like what I'm doing.
Sneak it up on us right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Side Seat Podcast, and that's exactly how we do it. I'm your host, Victor Martinez. I am joined, as always, by Jake Quake, the pride of Barstow, Jake Turner, and Mr. Eric Nesbitt, a.k.a. Nez. Before we get to our guest, we just got to mention a quick shout-out to our brother, Matt Wilkins. Unfortunate circumstances, so he won't be joining us tonight, but he's in our thoughts. So I love you, brother. And there's a reason why I'm holding off on our guest, because we are at Roosters, which it'll all make sense in a little bit. We're at Roosters at 2130 3rd Avenue in Rock Island, Illinois. They've been gracious enough to host us tonight, so come on down. I mean, they're throwing us dollar beers tonight, guys, so it's awesome.
PBR for the win.
And hopefully maybe we can get the same deal again soon. But let me pay the bills real quick, because that's always important. First off, the pool man, Mark Reedy, for all your above and below in-ground pool needs.
Yep.
Make sure you give Mark Reedy a call. Installation, sales, and service, 309-292-8486. Make sure you check out our partners, Rock Island Brewing Company. Their bar and grill, the awesome music venue. Great food. I think we kind of went with the Ribco burger, so we destroyed it.
Yep.
It kind of destroyed us afterwards.
After watching Buzz destroy us.
Exactly. My ears are still hurting. Anyways, 1815 2nd Avenue here in Rock Island. We'll put the number up for you later. Ragged Records, new and used record store. Great selection out there. I picked up many stuff. Many things there. Nez, I'm sure you have too.
Many.
Awesome
Hard to
stuff.
walk out there without spending $100.
I found a copy of Manic Eden there.
Oh, did you really?
Yep.
Oh, nice.
Yep, very awesome.
So, 418 East 2nd Street in Davenport, Iowa. And our one of our new sponsors, Next Level Fitness. Reach your next level with dedication, motivation, friendship, and fun. 3102 29th Street, Moline, Illinois. And tonight, that's why I waited, because tonight we have the owner of Next Level Fitness and a good friend of the group, good friend of Nez's, hopefully a good friend of ours at the end of the night, Mr. Albert Myers.
We'll
man.
see about it. Thank you very much.
No problem, man. So
Glad to be here.
thanks for coming on. So why I mentioned Roosters, you have some history with this place, right?
I do. Myself, as we sit right here, I'm looking around.
We're upstairs.
And we're upstairs. Obviously, it used to be a Jewish synagogue way back when, in the early days of Rock Island. And I used to practice with a band called Lucky Stiff and a band called Mercy Circle with Tim Logston, Danny Butler, Barry Morris. Todd Herbert was in Lucky Stiff with me. He's passed a long time ago. But had a lot of great times in here. I used to work here, putting up gutters in my early 20s, 20-year-old, you know. Used to be an AC heating business, but...
So when you walked up here, you automatically saw where everything was.
Nostalgia.
Just back in the day.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, what a change. And, you know, I'm glad to see a lot of it is actually still the same.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, the woodwork coming up, you know, I'm ready to set up right back over there. Move the dart freaking boards and put all that crap back up.
Did you bring your equipment?
Yeah, I brought the trucks outside.
Yeah, exactly.
So are you pleased what they did with this building?
Yeah, how could you not be? It's really, they kept, you know, the walls are kind of intact. There was some neat stuff here. It was crowded back then. We hung plastic and cardboard on the ceiling because we had squirrels crawling in and peeking at us as we practiced.
We're like, we don't want the squirrels to steal our songs.
And that's where we wrote our song list. So up on the ceiling cardboard.
That is awesome.
So you were shit out of luck if they decided to chew through that. So.
Oh, they did. Yeah.
So one of your original songs is in their stomach.
Yeah, Squirrel Hole. There was actually a hole next to our little logo, which, by the way, I have video evidence that it was the Nirvana face way before Nirvana.
Really?
10 years. I have video evidence that
I'm
Lucky
telling
Stiff
you need to post all these pictures. You showed us some good ones tonight.
grows in trouble.
Yeah, I'm telling you got to get this stuff up because, hey, man, this is pretty awesome. I think when Nez approached us about the story, you know, we were like, Roosters, that's like downtown Rock Island. It's like, you know, it's like, okay. And then he said that you had some history here. So that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, a lot of history.
Well, what ended up happening was when I was looking to do sponsorship for the new set of shirts, Albert had contacted me saying, hey, I might be interested in doing that. So I went over to Next Level Fitness to have a little one-on-one meeting with him.
Yeah.
And he's talked about this building. Well, he goes, yeah, we used to practice at the it used to be a bar called 3rd and 22. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
We're scheduled to do a podcast on it. It's now called Roosters. We got to have you down here at this podcast.
What a coinkydink.
Right?
So it worked out for everybody. So, hey, man, again, thanks for joining us. Thanks for sponsoring us, man.
Oh, my pleasure. Absolutely, my pleasure.
You know, while we got you here, I mean, it means a lot to us that people believe in this kind of thing, because really what our goal is to get people not even necessarily educated, but remind them that there's not the same kind of music out there. There's not the Black Veil Brides or the Nicki Minaj's out there. There's all kinds of great stuff, which is again, thank you for believing in us and giving us a shot.
You got to keep the new generations keyed in on where it all came from.
Exactly.
But let's not forget that when I was a young 20, 19, 20, 21-year-old sneaking into Chantilly Lace as a youngin', that I got to witness Amazon Bond play at, which Albert's one of his bands.
Yeah.
Fantastic band of the late 80s, early 90s.
Back in the hair band, yeah.
So it was awesome, and I didn't realize that until he showed the video. I was like, I think I was at that show. It looks really familiar.
And we have to call out another friend, Randy Vase, who when I showed up to, it was a 97X concert series on Thursday nights. And just so happened that up in the DJ Boat booth was Randy Vase. So
one of our members for the Quad City Music Club.
yeah,
Oh, cool.
yeah. So we got to throw down his name there.
Yeah, well, hey, you know, it's I'll use Wilkins' word, incestuous with the group. So
Yes, it's very incestuous.
It comes a lot and goes a lot around with a lot of our guests. And,
Kevin Bacon's only a step away.
yes, exactly. I'm sure he's gonna be in here.
Anytime, yeah.
Exactly. So what's it like? Some of your experiences, like playing in a band like that, or just being around. What was that like for you personally? I mean, was this something you've always wanted to do?
Oh yeah. I probably started when I was 13, sneaking into my parents' room to pull out my dad's guitar from underneath the bed. Until he caught me in for punishment, bought me a guitar of my own.
So here you
that's
go.
where it kind of started.
Instead of whipping your ass, he's like, "Here, take a guitar, play your own. Leave mine alone."
Exactly. Leave mine alone.
The question was your first guitar an acoustic or was it electric?
His was an acoustic, which he still owns.
Oh.
It's probably 5 years older than me. I'll be 50 this year.
Oh, wow.
So it's an oldie. Yeah, it's an old Harmony. Mine was a Hohner 2. White Les Paul looked like Randy Rhoads.
Awesome.
But of course, that was back in, I'm going to say, 70. Oh my God, 77, 78 maybe, something like that. Back when I was 12 and I was a Kiss freak, Of course, back then there was nothing but like Don Kirshner's rock concert was just about any place. That was the only place you could really see. There were no music videos, so if you wanted to see somebody, it was on, major television or late night like that.
Yeah.
So that's the only time you got to see bands.
Now, speaking of that, and we've never talked about this before, but I thought, this is things that you kind of stirred my mind a little bit. Do you remember, was it on CBS or was it ABC, they used to show on Saturday nights the Midnight Special?
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. We watched it.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I thought I was like one of the only people in my area.
Oh, yeah.
that
Don
watched it.
Kirshner. Yeah, I think they might have been back to back. If I could be wrong.
Yes.
Yeah, I could be wrong.
Might have
since I
been. It was
probably-
CBS, correct? I think.
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't. 6 or 8.
Sounds
That's
like
all I
out
remember.
of my.
Well, it was
Yeah.
every Saturday night. They were competing against like Saturday Night Live, so
Yeah.
they showed. It was like
Midnight Special.
It was like Austin City Limits
Oh, okay.
on major TV.
Oh, sweet.
But
it was very cool.
they'd have everybody. You name it. Heart. I mean, BB King. I mean, you name it. They had
Everything.
between Midnight Special and Don Kirshner's rock concert. I mean, that was it. You got to see the people that you were listening to on the radio or buying the albums. You got to see them live, at least on TV,
Yeah, doing their thing.
doing their thing live. Which was great. Which you see that all the time now. So the kids are freaking spoiled about it.
Yeah, well, like I remember when I was like a youngster watching MTV, and I used to hate the videos that actually had like stories and stuff behind them. Like, you know what I mean? Like all I wanted to see was like the live shots,
Yeah.
Because that's the part that got me off. Was like watching like people acting and shit during the music. I was like,
So you didn't like Operation Mindcrime videos from Queensryche? Are you kidding me?
No, there's some performance in there, right? Because then the guy had that crazy ass drum set with the chains connected to the cymbals.
Sure.
Yeah. See, I remember that that shit was awesome.
But see, I was in previous podcasts. in early podcasts, I don't know if you remember this or not. MTV used to do the Friday night video fights where they would pit one video against another one. And we'd always go out to Skate Ranch on Friday nights, and they would show the video fights, and they would always make it like uneven video fights. So it was like Smoke in the Boys Room by Motley Crue versus Subdivision's Rush. And of course, there was no teenage kid that was going to get into Subdivisions or whatever else. And so they would make it. But those were things that we don't have now that kids really need. And England, London, England, and a friend of mine, Christian, I can't think of his last name right now. He's going to kill me for it. He lives over in Davenport. He was telling me about the old kettle whistle or the old something like that. It was like the equivalent to the midnight special. Christian Butler. Sorry, Christian. Anyway, they used to have a show on Saturday nights called the Old Kettle Whistle, which was live performance. It was all pretty much European talent that would come on their show. Pretty much a lot of the stuff that would bring on the midnight special was a lot of American-made talent. So we don't have that stuff anymore. Kids don't have that outlet anymore.
And it's unfortunate because that was, like, I think I was coming up, we were, Jake, I think you might agree, we were kind of coming up around the time that stuff was going away. It was turning into the reality stuff.
Yeah.
We got to see some of the unplugged sessions that they were doing, which I talked about before, which I love, but, that's just that kind of stuff. But the only thing, and I'm going to post this on the page because I was hoping to save it for the page, but this is a good point to bring up right now. There are shows like Austin City Olympians out there that are still around that do that stuff. But then there's also shows on like this Access Television.
Guitar sessions.
Guitar Center sessions. Later with Jules Holland. If you guys I love that
on
show.
Pladia.
Yeah, on Pladia, yeah.
And then
shows like that.
Daryl's House, the dude for...
That's a great show.
Yeah. Is that on VH1?
No, that's on Palladia.
Is it
That's on Pladia.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's shows out there, but it sucks because it's like more premium format now. So now you have to spend the money to get the stuff.
Right.
But if you can get a chance to go watch the shows, because you'll see some like unfiltered performances by big names along with these up and coming names and stuff. So it's cool to see.
And it's more casual.
Yeah.
It's not so staged.
Yeah.
Right.
Like most things are out there that you
Exactly.
either YouTube or I mean, it's so saturated with junk.
Yeah.
Well, like when you used to watch, even like the MTV Unplugged, those were like 3, 4, 5 takes.
Yeah.
Some of those songs, like some of the stuff like the Nirvana ones out there where it's the actual full unplug.
Yeah.
Where like they'll be going in the middle and then Kirby's like, no, stop.
Yeah.
Let's do this one over. And so they like, the producer would be like, all right, start cheering again. And you get everybody start clapping and cheering again, and then they kick into the song again, which was pretty cool because they had like them like goofing off playing like Leonard Skinner and stuff.
Yeah.
Just being dorks.
How much does a Nirvana crowd fluffer get paid?
Well, and here's one for you before we end this little portion of the segment. Was everybody remembers MTV's Headbangers Ball, correct?
Oh yeah,
we all remember
Ricky
that,
Ratman.
right? Oh yeah. But before the Headbangers Ball, there was called MTV's Metal Shop, and it was their version of heavy metal before it was pushed into the forefront.
Right.
And they would get a half hour of it. It came on 2:30 to 3 when I was in school still.
After school.
Before DVRs.
Yes. So those are things that we used to miss out on as kids because either a lot of times we'd miss out on because we were in school or it was too late at night and our parents made us go to bed.
Right.
But there were things available and I would always make sure I would keep myself awake enough so I could catch the midnight special.
Sure. And now that anybody that has YouTube, go check out Later with Jules Holland, Daryl's House, Guitar Center Sessions. Go check those out. I promise you'll find some good shit.
Well, hell, check out all the old stuff. Midnight Special stuff on there. The old Kettle Whistle. All that stuff's on
great
there.
stuff. I mean, I remember Heart being on there and just thinking, holy crap.
Yeah.
And to this day, every time I hear one of those songs that I always crank up is Magic Man.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Every single time. The guitar work on it is so clear and precise, and every single time that never gets old.
Gotcha. Well, there's a lot of good stuff out there. But I'd be remiss if we didn't hear the story again because it was very entertaining. And as you said that he had a story, Albert, do you have the story again that you want to talk about?
About Albert and an elevator
Yes.
in Cedar Rapids. Let's hear it.
Okay.
We were promised a good
went up
story.
to, it used to be, I think it was Five Flags in Cedar Rapids. Probably named after
Five Seasons Center.
Five Seasons Center.
Five
That's what it
Seasons,
was. Okay.
Five Flags is in Dubuque.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Went with the Tom Bergeron,
Yep.
Dave Becker, Another guy that I can't remember. Spent the night up there. I was the only one probably not in fashionable bandanas in the group as we walked toward the concert. Went across the little hamster trail across the street, got in the elevator, went down a couple floors, just talking amongst ourselves. Doors open, right? There's a man and a woman standing there arguing. So everybody kind of, kind of shush up. As they step on, they look at us first like, ah, crap. And then kind of hesitantly step on. Yngwie Malmsteen and his girlfriend / manager were arguing about something that didn't get there. Yeah. And he's cussing up a storm. As doors close, all three of us are against the wall. Yngwie and this really beautiful girl with the briefcase are standing in front of us, kind of just, in Swedish.
Yeah.
And so we're just backed up against the wall. And Dave is kind of nudging me like, say something. And I'm like, I'm opening my hands like, what do you want me to say? Yeah. They're arguing, So we missed an opportunity. They get, the doors open, they turn around, he says, see ya. And I said, have a good show. And the doors close, and everybody just let loose like all of the air in their body. And it was just like, oh, why did you say something? And we were a bunch of little girls, with Justin Bieber on the
fangirling out.
What a cool brush.
Yeah, how many people can say that they were in an elevator for a couple floors with Yngwie Malmsteen?
Yngwie Malmsteen.
There you go, man. Well, that's pretty awesome. I mean, it's just like when you get to meet people that you look up to and kind of have that experience. So at least you can say that you had that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I should have rubbed up against him. Maybe some of that arpeggio sweeping rubbed off on me a little bit. There you go. Some Swedish magic.
Or maybe just some sweat.
Yeah, I'll skip that.
Yeah,
no more sweat.
Hey, let's jump into some news, guys. Nez, Chris Squire, you said Yes is going to go forward with them.
That's the report. They're going for it. And Chris Squire, founding member of Yes, even in the years of the 80s when most of the original members of Yes were gone, Chris Squire was still there.
Thank you.
And what we know right now is that John Anderson, I guess he's not singing for Yes, and Chris Squire is not playing bass for Yes now. Right. So we're at this thing where I guess maybe they're looking at Billy Sherwood as the singer, and I'm not quite sure who's going to be replacing Chris Squire. Yes, but here's I think is another one of those situations where I think this is just a big bag of shit because Chris Squire was Yes. Even Yes during the commercialized years of the 80s, right. He was still the founding father of Yes. Call it something else. Call it what they did when John Anderson left Yes and he started up Anderson Buford Wakeman Howe. Yeah. Call it something like that. Do whatever you want. Don't call it Yes, because Chris Squire is no longer a member. It's the Mad Season thing.
Yeah, there we go. I was about saying. And there we go with the Mad Season reference. So, but you're right, and we'll see how they go about that because, at this point, I don't think a lot of people are going to be up in arms about that over other projects. Like the Mad Season thing. People are really pissed about that. Yeah. But the Yes thing. I don't know, maybe they're just going to let it try and go.
I mean, there'll be those diehards. I mean, there's diehards in every band. Yeah. There's going to be diehards that are going to be really pissed off about it. Right. That's just the way it is. I mean, Yes has been around for what? 40 years now? 30 years?
More than that, probably.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
I seen him in the 80s.
So I mean,
I was way past,
It might be just a time for this to be done.
Yeah.
Really, I mean...
But this is the time where I get to interject some Chris Squire stuff that people don't really realize. If you're not into Yes, Chris Squire did a whole bunch of side projects away from Yes. Right. He did a band called Conspiracy. If you're into some different style of music, check it out. Billy Sherwood, Chris Squire, it's called Conspiracy. Check out a band called Squack It. It's called Chris Squire and Steve Hackett. Steve Hackett from Genesis. Great stuff. Check it out.
Never even heard of Squack It.
Yeah, Squack It. New one out to check out, man. Quake, dude, we're excited about this one.
Yeah.
Matt Skiba is going to join Blink-182 in the studio officially.
Yeah, they're going to be recording the album in August.
Yeah.
So should be done probably in October.
And we've talked about when he jumped on to perform out in L.A. for a few shows. Was it just a one show or two shows?
It was 2 shows I think they did.
Yeah.
And they were pretty good for just rehearsing for like a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Relearning have to learn a whole different style of guitar playing and stuff like that, and singing a bunch of new songs in different tones that he doesn't sing in.
Yeah.
I'm excited about it. It should be interesting. It's kind of combining two of my favorite bands. So.
Yeah, I mean, you listen to Alkaline Trio, you listen to The Secrets.
Yeah.
You know, they're way different sound than Blink, I would say.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, all Blink's lyrics, for the most part, are like jokes.
Yeah,
you
like-
know what I mean. Like, it's not as serious as Skiba's lyrics are. So it's gonna be very interesting to see how what he writes for this.
Yeah.
If he's gonna try to stay true to the Blink stuff, or if he's gonna write his own stuff. Because he's got them going through a divorce with the last record. And that record was depressing as all shit. So.
I really don't know what you guys think, but I think a song like "F You Aurora" is just brilliant. I just think, what genius is that?
Come on now. Well, anyways, we're looking forward to that. Next isn't, but who cares?
I like Aurora, by the way. I like Aurora a lot.
They got some good Mexican restaurants. So. After the burial, guitarist Justin Lowe found dead in Wisconsin yesterday, I believe.
Yesterday, yeah.
Which would have been Wednesday, the whatever day it is.
24th or something like
24th,
that.
23rd, 22nd, whatever. This one's a little bit odd, Nez, because this is, I mean, have we heard of paranoid suicides before in music?
Paranoid schizophrenia. No, not music. Well, I mean, Ozzy was paranoid schizophrenia,
But I mean, like,
but like his was drug induced. I mean, who knows? I mean,
Drug-induced paranoia.
yeah, but who knows what the fuck was going on with him?
True.
If you look up his blog post right before he, like 2 or 3 days before he died, shit was not right.
people out to get him.
Yeah, you know, and then like his fans are a lot of youngsters, so they're like thinking, somebody got him, somebody killed him. The dude was fucked up.
Yeah.
You know, he was fucked up. It's sad. It really is.
Yep.
I wish he would have got help.
Oh, hey, man. Well, it's interesting to see. I mean, they're not a band that I particularly listen to.
I don't listen to them at
Actually,
all.
don't really think I've ever heard anything. I have heard of them from, like, Warped
So
Tour.
so what you're saying is you don't really listen to them very much.
No, I don't listen to them. I'll say that.
Yeah, so even less than very much.
But I know of the name because I know people that like to listen to that stuff, so whatever. But yeah, anyways, that's always a bummer. But on the plus side, it's somebody lived to see their 50th birthday / woo.
Yeah.
Right.
So, hey, I'm surprised he made it. He's got a pacemaker and shit.
Oh, shit.
Really? I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Yeah, he got it right before he was in Velvet Revolver. So it was like during the it was right after Snake Pit, the second record. He got it done because he almost died. He had alcohol poisoning a couple times. Couple times. yeah. I mean, you gotta keep.
well,
you gotta keep on going, man.
What is a couple times? 24?
3 after the. No, I mean,
A couple times in a week.
yeah. During the GNR days, he was actually pronounced dead twice, I think.
Wasn't he the one that like passed out in the elevator and the doors kept on
Yeah.
closing and shutting on his body?
Yeah.
Smashing
Yeah.
his body. And
Yeah. He was.
So they should have renamed him Smash.
Oh, Smash, there you go.
Hey, Smash, get over here.
Can we talk to him about it? Maybe see if we can try to convince him.
You could change it from Slash to Smash.
He might be considered as a wrestler now.
Oh,
Comes to action.
hey, he's got a great build on him. He probably could.
Yeah. Alice in Chains biography in production. That one's going to move along.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, actually.
I think a lot of that's coming with this, Mad Season talk nowadays. I mean, because I didn't know that they were talking about this until recently.
The book.
Yeah. So,
I think Cantrell's on board with it.
So long as in that book they add the projects of what the original Mad Season did, and then what the side project of under the moniker of Jerry Cantrell did, and make it right.
I didn't even
Well, I
talk.
mean, even before, because Cantrell was in not Cantrell. Lance Staley was in a band before Alice in Chains.
There's a hairband.
Yeah, and he had to pick between which band he wanted to join. Because the other band, I can't think of the name, was like, you can't be in both bands. You got to pick either Alice in Chains or our band.
Yeah.
It was like, I'm going to go wear flannel clothes and go be with Alice in Chains.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, that's, I mean, obviously, it was the right choice.
Well, I think a lot of love coming out that way, but
And give a lot of props to Mike Starr. All the contributions, what he did for the band before he had to get booted out for the heroin usage. So
Which, I mean, did any of you guys? I doubt any of you guys have watched this, but any of you guys watch that doctor, like the several rehab bullshit he was on?
Yes.
Where he said the first time he ever shot up was with Lane Staley and Kurt Cobain.
No shit.
I mean, how the hell are you gonna say no to that?
Right.
You know,
right.
and then like he ends up taking over his life, and obviously, I mean, succumbing
Well,
to it.
the funny thing about it was in that celebrity rehab when he was in it, they showed it. When they do the individual interviews with him, and he said, people are in here because they're addicted to alcohol, or people are in here because they're addicted to cocaine. He goes, I'm addicted to heroin.
Yeah.
Like he said, I'm addicted to heroin. And he put it onto a whole nother level, trying to make people explain it's like heroin is not alcohol, it's not cocaine.
Something. It's literally a completely different monster.
Right.
I think him and Adler in the house at the same time, or is that different?
No, it's different.
Because Adler was,
Yeah, that was bad too.
yeah, he was bad. I'm glad he's sober and shit now too.
Well, we think.
Still not repaired.
Well, I mean, there's a picture of him driving a bus and like driving their little van in South America, and he looked really well. Like he actually might finally have his shit together. Which, here's something to add to the news. Recently, we heard Slash said he'd do a Guns N' Roses reunion.
Oh boy.
Steven Adler's clean. Duff's clean. Izzy's he's out there somewhere.
He's
And
somewhere.
Axl isn't doing nothing with his Guns N' Roses right now. I can just see the money signs piling up.
And did you know that Jake Quake Turner has done drug tests on all these people to know that they're just what they say is the truth?
Well, here's the thing though. If Duff McKagan never has another drink, he will die. Like that's how bad. Like he was like told like one more drink you're dead. So if you ever see him drink, he drinks NA beer. But,
Oh well.
Interesting.
Well, at least
I know he likes to join every band in America.
Yeah.
And in Europe too.
At least we can end on the note that Dave Grohl has still not replaced Barrett Martin in that season on drums.
What?
He is not yet, nothing yet.
No.
Do you
but he-
think if something tragic would happen to Barrett Martin, do you think Dave Grohl would join Mad Season?
possibly. Did you
He's
see,
everywhere.
For a while.
did you see the video where he brought the kid up on stage to play drums for
No.
Foo Fighters?
Yes,
No,
he
I
did.
Yeah, it was a kid's birthday. And he's like, "Let me come up and play drums."
That was great, yeah.
Then he goes, "Okay, come up here."
Really?
He let him sit down. He goes, "What song do you want to play?" And he said, the best of you. He goes,
Okay.
"That's the last song we're playing, dumbass. Pick a different one." he goes, "We'll do the easiest one." Was it Big Me? Is that the first single they had?
Don't know. I don't even know.
It's
what they
just
played, so.
he ripped off the band Sugar.
Well, can we go back to his saying he's not quite replaced Barrett Martin yet?
Not yet.
But if Barrett Martin would somehow something tragically happen to him,
Yeah.
You just jinx it.
So we'll see what
Foo Fighters and
happens.
Into
We
It.
will keep an eye on that. So
that would mean Mike McCready and the Mad Season Experience.
there you go. We will keep an eye
How
on that.
long is this
Keep
news
you
session? Dude, we just clicked this. I just want to see. This is probably the longest one we've ever done.
posted. Yeah,
27 minutes of news.
No, really quick. I'm gonna make it even longer just because I got to mention my buddy Josh. He got pulled up on stage with Rise Against. I thought that was pretty cool.
What?
Yeah, he had a sign that said "Let me play on Hero War" or whatever, and he got to play with Rise Against. It was pretty amazing.
Really?
Excuse me, it was pretty incredible. So
That is actually really, really cool.
shout out to Josh Lowe. I'll post the video because I think there's video and pictures of it. And this kid that I met, going to a couple shows, really nice kid. I'm glad he got a chance because he's a musician, up and coming. He's a young kid, but whatever. Anyways, don't forget Turntable Tuesday at Ribco. It's a new partnership between Ragged Records and Ribco that you can bring. What is it? Half an hour.
You bring your own vinyl
Yeah.
and you get 20 minutes of your own spins.
Yes.
2 turntables and no microphone.
Yes,
I like
you,
it.
You can't beat that. Our partner and another one of our sponsors working together. And I also hear they got a Day Trotter thing coming up.
That they
Yes.
will be doing what we're thinking, and I don't want to spill the beans yet, but there might be with River Roots Live and Ragged Records and Day Trotter some before and after River Roots Live get-togethers at possibly the old Nan's Piano Bar downtown Davenport.
Beautiful.
Awesome. So we'll hold on that because next week we are having our guest Cody Tucker on, and he's cool with the Day Trotter guys. So maybe we can get something out of him, and we'll be back at Rostock. So, but for now, we are here at Roosters in Rock Island. We're with Albert Myers, our guest. So make sure you guys go check out Next Level Fitness. And let's get started. So basically, what we do here, man, is we get into our stuff. Nez always gets on me about not doing my homework,
Which he does not do his homework.
I do
It's
my.
all. It's in here.
It is
It's
in
in
here.
here as
Focus.
I point to my temple.
If it's up here,
Yeah.
if Victor turns his neck to the
spills
left and to the right, you hear it go clunk,
Clank,
and
clank,
clank, and everything else.
So what you're picturing is words, like letters kind of spilling over each other.
They're all mixed in. So, but anyway, my pick of the week. This is thanks to Brother Greg Thompson and also our new Quad City music lovers, collectors, and traders.
Whoa, he
members.
got it right.
Once again.
You had to take a glance, but
I
we'll
did.
give it to you.
I have to do that too.
Two of our new members, Bree Bailey and Amy Morrow, had a joke about what do we think about Nicki Minaj. I know a couple people got kind of goofy with it, and this is at the suggestion, not even a suggestion, it was just a comment that Brother Thompson had mentioned.
Would you quit referring to him as Brother Thompson?
I will, Pastor, Brother, Reverend Thompson.
Why don't you blow him a little more?
I will. Anyways, this came from him. I went with Nikki Hill, and the album is called. It's an EP called "Here's Nikki Hill," and the best way we can describe it, because me and Nez and Quake were kind of talking about what kind of sound we could kind of call this, and it was more along the lines of very soulful rock. Very rhythm and bluesy. I mean, she covered some Chuck Berry and stuff like that. So it's just some very deep, maybe Joss Stoney, because she's newer to the scene. It's Nikki Hill from South Carolina, North Carolina, one of the Carolinas. And I was she only has the one EP called "Here's Nikki Hill." And there's a lot of video, a lot of footage of her performing, and that's what I based my pick off of this week, because the performances were great. Her voice is incredible. It's very powerful for that. You know, she looks kind of short, but I don't know. Videos are misleading. But now, have any of you guys seen kind of like Alabama Shakes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe there we go. That's a more fair matchup with her.
Okay.
Like kind of along that, you know.
I would disagree with you. I would
okay.
say that she's more of the Joss Stone, soulful. That she's got that European style R&B feel to it. That's me. But that you guys might think differently. I just feel like she's got that European Sky Edwards fronting. You know, that maybe a little edgier sound to her.
Fair enough. But nonetheless, still blasts out some vocals cleanly. You would think maybe they might get a little rough at times. No, man, straight right into the microphone, into my hearing receptacle. So I'm really hoping to pick this one up because it's you got to get it online. You can stream it on SoundCloud. I don't really know how that stuff works, but
It's through iTunes, correct?
What's that?
It's through iTunes,
I think
right?
it is on iTunes too. So, give it a listen. Go check out the stuff on YouTube. Here's Nikki Hill. Here comes Nikki Hill. Really, just even relaxing for the powerful stuff that she throws out.
My biggest fear is that this EP is gonna just set the highest bar, which it's cutting edge, it's trend setting, and that's the problem when you bring out an EP, a 6-song EP. Was it a 5 or 6 song EP?
I think it was like 6.
Okay, to set the bar that high and then try to come out with an album to try to match the EP.
Yeah.
Usually it's vice versa. Yeah. It's album then EP if they do that, because an EP is a lost art.
Yeah.
But the first thing you don't want to do is start out with an EP, a 6-song EP. I'm hoping she's not tapping herself out too early.
Yeah.
She just gave it 6 songs and bam.
Everything.
Yeah.
Just blew it in one bang.
Blew the load in one.
I think I'm going to go ahead and just probably go with my feeling that we probably haven't seen the last of her, and it's going to continue on. 2013, I think, was when she started releasing some music. I know she's doing a lot of European touring stuff right now. I know she has a few dates.
Music.
Yeah, and they have some U.S. dates and whatnot, which would be interesting to catch. But definitely check her out, man. And again, it comes off the principle of the group of learning about new music. So that was my pick of the week, and I'm going to continue to listen to her because I love her music.
I did listen to her. I think she's got a lot of heart.
Yeah.
I don't think she came on too strong. I think she's got it seems like she's got a lot of heart, and she doesn't have an empty well. That she didn't empty her well.
I
You don't
hope
think
not.
so?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I think she's legit. It sounds deep. It's not, she's not faking it. As a lot of people, you can go to any blues fest in the world and see the same guys just going through the paces, acting like they've played the blues. Anybody can play the pentatonics, lay them out there, play blues tunes, blah blah blah. I think she's authentic, and she does it with a lot of heart. So I think she's got.
That's a
I
great
think
word.
she's, and that's what I when I watched her and I you could feel that she just seems like she's got the old soul, that old school, authentic. She didn't screw it up by trying to make it her own.
Right.
She just kind of brought a different time into this time without jacking it all up.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
So she stayed to her roots. And
I think so. I think
That's
she
awesome.
stayed true to the roots.
The roots, not
The
her
roots.
roots. Yeah. you're right,
And
you're
obviously she's got those roots set in her.
Well, you never see an EP come out as the debut, and so we've talked about this before. Is an EP format is a lost art for a lot of artists. It used to be a cool thing to do back in the
Queensryche.
80s. Yep.
I've still got my
Rat.
Queensryche.
Yep.
Rat. Sure.
Right. You can go along with Jar of Flies by Alice in Chains.
Sure.
Just a
Guns
lot
N'
of really.
Roses' first one.
GNR
Live Like-
Lies.
yeah.
GNR Lies.
Oh, no,
Live
Live
Like
Like
Suicide.
Suicide.
Gotta
Yep,
put
yeah.
something out, but we don't have enough for an
Right.
entire album.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like
There's
when
a
that.
couple songs to chew on while we record.
So that's what was me. I was going on my end of things. Going, it's a head scratcher. Going, oh man, was it just 6 songs? Come
That's all
on,
she
man.
has.
Yeah, right.
Right,
And
right.
we don't want because and you guys. I know how you guys feel. I hate albums with fillers.
Oh, yeah.
I own a lot of my collection has got some albums that it's a 12 track album and
2 songs.
there's like
Yep.
3 or 4 fillers, and that's still considered a good album, And then you get some that are out of 12 tracks, you get 3 really good songs and 9 crap ones. So
Well, a lot of that honestly has to do with the business side of it. The records are like, you got to put something out now. Push. So, like, you got to write. I mean, like, what Thompson always says, like, the first record's always their best, everything else is always crap. He always says that.
I disagree.
I do too, but at a certain time, though, usually their first record, they've had their whole life to write. As, like, their very first record with earlier bands. Like, not like Flying Color or stuff like that. They've written music before, but, like, when you're in a band, like, for the most part, like the early 80s and stuff, when those guys were just getting together, they had their whole time to write this record because a lot of those bands weren't signed yet. And then, like, they have a big success, like GNR, like the Use Your Illusion 1 and 2. A lot of those songs were written even before Appetite for Destruction. They just had to wait 2 years, had to hire a new drummer.
They're saved up.
Yeah, they saved up. They're like, all right, well, we got. Then they ended up releasing 2 records anyway, but that's kind of defeats the purpose. But a lot of those songs were written way before Appetite for Destruction even came out. So.
Well, here's what I propose for a future episode. Maybe we could go back to the old format of, what we used to do, and kind of maybe what's your favorite EP, what's your favorite LP, instead of pick of the week.
I wouldn't mind doing that.
And I'm all about that. The thing that would be really interesting is that the EP is kind of like the forgotten art.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
It really
I
is.
agree. People
And-
just go right past it.
What's the new
It's all,
album?
right now, it's all just singles. Single on iTunes. Single on iTunes.
And I've always been a big proponent of the EP because you get 5 to 6 songs that are heavy hitting EP, and that's why I'm going, oh my God, who comes out with a first album that's an EP?
Yeah.
Oh, usually
You know what? That's my idea. I'm going to start a band. I'm going to do nothing but EPs.
Yep.
5 song
songs.
albums. That's it.
5 songs. Wait a couple. wait like another 5 months. Release another 5. I don't know. I like the idea of the EP because especially with today's.
Because people skip through your CDs anyway.
Well, that and like right now, people's attention span is nearly nothing.
Yeah.
So a 10-song album, you're not going to. A lot of people are just going to start skipping around.
Well, and we had this discussion before you got here, Albert. We were talking about Van Halen Diver Down.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Van Halen Diver Down really should have been an EP because
Yeah.
there's a lot of fill in that album. A ton of it. It had really no business
Lot of
being,
noise.
a 10, 11 track album. No
A
business.
lot of noise.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's a good idea for a future episode. So, again, EP or album, either way it goes. I mean, it's still, we're going to listen to whatever gets put out by the people that we want to check out.
This is the most debatable album, format type thing that you brought to this on episode. We're at episode 16 because it's an EP. It's a debut EP.
Yeah.
It's full of debate. On
Yeah.
Should you do this or should you not do this?
Yeah.
Right.
And maybe we could get our people on the Lovers page to chime in for this. I think that's a good idea. We'll plan something for one of the future episodes, which Albert, hopefully you guys can put your input in and kind of help us discuss this. Not just be a post, but it could be a live debate or so. So I think that's a good idea. I really think so. So cutting edge for the new Side C podcast. So.
Very cutting edge.
Anyways.
Nikki Hills, check it out.
Yeah,
Definitely.
definitely.
I loved her.
Yeah, I really did. I think I fell in love too.
Good players,
especially with my
good
butcher
players
ass.
behind her.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, definitely good players behind her.
Yeah?
No
her-
showboating.
I think Greg said it was her husband that was the main guitar guy.
Yes, he
Yes,
is. Yes, he is.
Well, it's
pretty cool.
So they got a good connection. So
Is
that
it
counts
almost-
for a lot.
Does she got like? Sorry, Amy Winehouse just popped in my head. Is it anything close to that?
I don't think it's anything like Amy
No,
Winehouse.
not at all. Because like the voice and stuff like that. I mean, she had a killer
She
voice,
has a
although
pretty good heavy R&B voice.
but that was more probably the.
I'm
crack.
telling you,
That's
man,
pop.
Great
it's that
feel.
European, R&B sound.
That
It's
you love,
edgy.
yeah.
It's in your face. I love it.
So I
I'll
think-
check it out when I get home.
So I think Albert and Nez kind of summed it up for me perfectly, especially with Nez describing it and Albert using the word authentic. So there it is.
And
Which is
retro.
hard-
And retro.
It feels very authentic.
Awesome.
Which is hard
Time
to do
warp.
anymore.
It's like a time warp. Yeah, it's not.
Genuine music, love at its finest here.
I think
good. Awesome. Quake, Pride of Barstow, what do you got for us, man?
I got something different. I picked a record by an album or by a band called Cold. It's called A Different Kind of Pain. The reason I even heard anything off this was like driving my car, listening to the radio because my CD player was broke, and they actually were playing music, and I heard one of the singles off of it called. Where did I put it?
Stupid Girl.
No, happens all the time. I was like, yeah, this sounds way different than anything they've ever done before. Because like most of us here, I've heard "Stupid Girl," and I was like,
Yeah.
it's all right. It was pretty good. I mean, lyrics were good. It was good music. Something different. But then I heard this, I was like, oh, I like that a lot more.
Now, was this before Year of the Spider or after Year of the
After.
Okay.
This came out in 2005. And it's really heavy. Not like, I mean, like a lot of the lyrics were like really, really heavy. And found out the reason why is because the lead singer, his sister was going through cancer.
Yeah.
And he just ended a relationship with his fiance. So he was going through a lot of stuff. And during the writing of the album, the band actually wrote the album inside his sister's bedroom while she's out fighting chemo and
Really?
stuff. Yeah. So it was,
like it.
yeah. So it was like really, really heavy. I guess I'm not a huge Cold guy, so I didn't know this, but like with the record before this, Year of the Spider, there was actually religious undertones throughout the whole record.
Really?
And I didn't know that. I haven't listened to it since I was reading about this. So
Yeah.
that could be true. This album just further went in that direction. I mean, there's a song on here called "God's Song."
Yeah.
Well, when you got somebody going through cancer and stuff,
Yeah.
kind of start questioning stuff. So
You look for different answers.
yeah,
Yes.
you're looking for answers.
How
We don't
about
know.
kind of
What,
questions?
yeah. They had first working title was called "The Calm That Killed the Storm." So I mean, it was dark from the very beginning because I guess that's when they started. They had to put out another record because they had that record label push. They had to start writing, so they had to go in it with heavy hearts and start writing at it. And they said it was more of like a healing process. It did okay. They sold like 36,000 copies in the first week, and 160,000 copies since.
Yeah.
And it failed to meet the record label's expectations because the Year of the Spider was huge.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of critics were not happy with it because of the religious undertones, and it wasn't as heavy as Year of the Spider was. It was more. It was more serious.
Yeah, because they were probably looking for more of the hard rock that
Yeah,
came off
yeah.
of Year of the Spider. Sorry. and they got this, which was
when I was reading it maybe because I was just discussing this the other album with somebody else. It kind of reminded me of how when Krabi came in with the Motley Crue '94 thing, how it completely was different than anything that what the fans expected. So, and it didn't do well, and they had a different producer. It was just a whole nine. Like, everything was different about it.
But here's the thing is that, and I've said this to you before, you guys, in the extremely late 1990s and early 2000s to mid 2000s, that 10-year span, hard rock and heavy metal got really confusing to me. I really didn't know what direction they're going. You had a bunch of bands that were like copycatting what Korn was doing, like Flaw and stuff like that. And it's not that I didn't like Cold. It's just I didn't know how to categorize them. Are they a metal band? Are they a hard rock band? Because well, let's face it. Like we said, we talk. We do this.
That's
talks
exactly
like,
what it says on here.
For instance, like, is Van Halen a heavy metal band, or are they just a hard rock band?
Right.
What is Cold? Are they a heavy metal band, or are they a hard rock band? What are they?
Here on
Pretty borderline.
Yeah, Wikipedia calls it post-grunge alternative rock. What the hell is that?
alternative rock. I would classify them as alternative.
I will too, because
How in the hell do you
jibber,
do you put that in a category of alternative rock when we think of the alternative rock, we think of The Cure. We think of Depeche Mode. We think of New Order.
But when you're, like you said earlier, though, in this general time frame of the late 90s, mid 2000s, you started getting bands like maybe Live.
Live was early 90s.
Early 90s? Okay.
Yeah,
Bush was a mid 90s.
But I'm saying, like, it started evolving from, like, Cure and stuff like that into bands like that, and then into the stuff that was turning into, like...
this is my argument, though, is that Bush and Sponge and bands like that do not sound anything like Cold.
No, not at all.
And then I would consider Bush and Sponge to be an alternative rock band, a little edgier side, but they're still in that college alternative rock. I don't think I wouldn't put Cold in that category at all.
I think each one of those have a big guitar sound, that wall of sound type of big splashy, sound sometimes. So I think you can lump them together. Just on that sonically.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think the attitudes are completely different.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't know, like, it's just it's really hard to classify. I don't even know where to begin to start.
And you shouldn't have to cut. And that's the thing is, soon as the late '80s or '90s hit, everybody could be pigeonholed in. I mean, it was easy to do it early on. '70s, you were rock, this, blah blah blah. It was easy. But then people started melting things together.
Right.
And then so you could almost break it down by percentage.
Yep.
This band is this much. Let's just say R&B, this much metal, this much. I mean, Faith No More started huge. People don't give them enough credit for, starting that. Even Anthrax.
But here's the thing.
Beastie Boys.
And I don't want to interrupt both of you guys.
But I'm off track.
You remember MTV 120 Minutes, what they considered alternative rock, college radio on Sunday nights from 10 to midnight.
The weird stuff.
Okay. That wouldn't be on there, is what you're saying.
Cold would never have been on that. Not in a million years they would have been on that.
That'd be your Gin Blossoms, your blues, or like in the later years. Because you know what? Because that's what the 120 was. It was the stuff that you could listen to back in the day. It was in Power 98.9. Was that like in the 90s?
Power 98.9 was a pop.
And that's where you would hear. Because my mom used to listen to that because it was an equal. Because like when we would be riding in the car, it would be my sisters and myself, my mom and my dad, and that would be their agreement. Because my mom got sick and tired of listening to Q106 and 97X
because all she listened to was Bob Seger and Billy Squier every day.
Yeah, because so that'd be my dad's and hers kind of agreement at the time, because like, all right, because I could hear a song by Bush every once in a while, and then you'd get like In Vogue mixed with like Gin Blossoms and other stuff, and it wasn't bad. That's when alternative radio pop radio wasn't bad,
But-
you could listen to stuff.
But the thing was that maybe your parents never discovered the Planet 92.5,
Yeah.
the music
Right.
alternative.
Right.
You would have never heard
No.
Cold on that channel.
I honestly, and they were on the rock station here. Yeah, that's because there's only one rock station here. At
But
the
they
time.
were very selective with what they played anyway.
Yeah, it's just I was surprised I heard him on the radio that one time. I didn't really hear it very much after that, so it was like kind of cool. It's like I bought it, I checked it out.
It's a big wall sound. I would say it's heavy rock, or I wouldn't say it's really metal.
No,
Even though it's got,
It's got metal
it's got
undertones in it.
it does. It's kind of dark, especially that.
Yeah.
That album's dark. Obviously, for the things that you explained that they were going through.
Yeah.
I think contributed to the feel of it, the kind of broodiness,
Yeah.
that deep thinking.
Yeah, exactly.
It's pretty deep,
Yeah, very deep.
contemplative.
But it's got a groove.
It
Like
does.
Matt Wilkins says, it has a groove.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it really does. I mean, it's got that. It's not generic rock, I guess you would say either.
It's similar, but it's not generic.
Right. You know what I mean? It's got that little something more. I'm not saying like it's this almighty great record by any means at all. It's not generic. It's got that little bit more. To me, it's better than Year of the Spider and the 12 Ways to Bleed on Stage, whatever the hell that one was before. It's better than those because it's not like just shit they put out before. Basically, is what I'm trying to say is it's better.
And it keeps with your specialty of
Oh well, yeah, the lyrics type of thing. Yeah,
The lyrics.
There's meaning behind
yeah,
it.
there you go.
Yeah, because like I've said before, I hate people that put out songs with no meaning.
Yeah.
I want to know what the hell you're going through. Like
You don't like Gigi Allen?
Hey man, Gigi Allen.
No,
Four
like-
pieces all day.
well, like the funny thing is though, it's like I'll sit here and preach about lyrics all day long.
We say that, but you sit here in a Fall Out Boy T-shirt.
Hey, Nate, I'm playing for you.
They
I'm
can't
playing
see.
for
I
you.
can say whatever I want.
Hey, he's like, wait a minute.
So
Like they can't see. That's
can't
great.
see it.
F you, Aurora. How genius can you get for a songwriter?
so
There's reasons behind that song.
yeah, man, there is.
Yeah, but can you use another?
He was like 20 years old when he wrote it, man.
Oh, excuses.
All right.
I mean,
Hey, Quake, your pick again, making this episode come along really nice. Can't wait to get to these next two.
I think I had a better episode than last week. My last week's episode was shitty. This one's better.
All right, man.
Cheers myself.
We're
for
all
this
good, but it's very good with so far. So.
Did you just cheers yourself?
I did.
Did.
Wow.
It's like
PBR.
high five, no friends.
Yeah.
A pat on the back.
Yeah. I give myself a fucking pat on the back.
Didn't Kurt Hennig used to do that?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, Mr. Perfect. Yeah.
Perfect. Hey, come on, he'd make a basket. Seriously. Speaking of Mr. Perfect, since we'll go over here, Nez, what do you got for us, man? Flying colors, huh?
I thought I was the last.
Yeah,
review.
he's always.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh.
I will gladly do.
I'm not
Save the
perfect.
best for last.
I'm not perfect. Anyways,
Save the best for
well, no, okay. You know
I'll
what?
do it.
No,
I'll gladly do it.
Let's just. You want to do it? We'll
Yeah,
start
I'll
off
gladly
with
do it.
that.
Then we'll end up
Then we
with
can-
the man that practiced.
Literally built this house.
Yeah, he built this house.
If
The
you don't
house
mind.
built by
Well,
Albert Myers.
we tore it apart. We
Remodeled.
we remodeled big time.
So you guys know, when I do my album reviews, I just kind of give you a whole bunch of information.
Yeah.
And so my pick was I didn't really end up doing an album. I'm just giving you guys some food for thought for Flying Colors, the supergroup Flying Colors. Members Mike Portnoy from Dream Theater, drummer virtuoso, Davey LaRue from Dixie Dregs, jazz fusion rock. Bass player. Casey McPherson was in a pop band, the vocalist. I can't remember the name of the band. I'm sorry, I didn't do that. I don't remember that name. Neil Morris from Spock's Beard, the keyboardist, and Transatlantic with Mike Portnoy, and then Steve Morris from the Steve Morris Band, Dixie Dregs, Deep Purple, and on and on and on and on guitar. And this band came out with their debut album in 2012. The day I bought it, I called Jacob because Jake is my former student, and he's always been a big rock and roll junkie. So I just thought it was in my best interest to call Jacob and say, I got this CD called Flying Colors. It's a supergroup. You gotta check it out. They incorporate everything in rock and roll and non-rock and roll into their music.
The master teaches the student.
Basically,
all the time.
it was considered a virtuoso musicians with a pop singer. That's how they considered their music to be. And their self-titled debut album was out March 26th of 2012. It debuted number 9 on the Billboard Hard Rock charts in the U.S. and number 11 on the BBC Rock Album charts, because they all do different things in North America and Europe and whatever. In December 16th of 2013, they released their second album called Second Nature, which is another great album. And in between there, they released a Blu-ray, DVD, CD Live in Europe album, where they've only played just a small group of shows live. And a year and a half ago, they played in St. Charles, Illinois, like in a venue like the size of Ribco.
Wow.
And they played there, and I wanted to go there so bad, but tickets were outlandish in price to see them, and so I didn't make it. But if you're into supergroups and if you're listening to crisp sound and you like fusion of all different types into rock and roll, a little bit of jazz fusion and a little bit of progressive fusion and alternative and whatever you can think about it. Neil Morris, the keyboardist from Transatlantic and from Spock's Beard, he also went off and did Christian rock.
Oh.
So it's very influential on all styles of rock and roll. So if you guys haven't heard them, get on YouTube, check it out. I firmly believe the first album is better than the second album. That's myself.
If you like the prog rock kind of stuff that's smoothed out,
Yeah.
I think it's smoother than anything the guys have ever done before. With the Dregs or Portnoy stuff.
Yeah.
I watched a couple things and I thought maybe, it popped in my head that it's like Dregs Theater instead of Dream Theater.
Yeah.
But it's just got the vocals and that feel is a lot more mature.
And I don't know how you feel about it, but a lot of the songs that on the first album feel very epic, like Kayla. It's a love song.
Oh yeah.
But it's still very progressive.
Technical.
Very technical, and very experimental at the same time. I really do. I think and no song sounds like the same, because Casey McPherson does lead vocals, Neil Morris does lead vocals, and they kind of trade off and they harmonize together, kind of like the Joe Lyd Turner, Glenn Hughes stuff that I told you guys about.
Yeah.
They trade off on it. It's brilliant stuff. I suggest you guys, if you have not heard it, I think it will open your eyes up, similar to what the Nicky Hill stuff did for you. So I'm a big proponent of this band, and a big proponent of the very first album. Second album's good. First album's out of sight.
I mean, is it just the 2 albums
So far, but they've made the super group, but they've been dedicated to it, to making this a permanent thing.
Yeah.
Associated acts, if you guys want to go into associated acts, we're talking Dream Theater, Dixie Dregs, Alpha Rev, that's the band that Casey McPherson was in. I'm sorry, I forgot that. Alpha Rev, Spock's Beard, if you're not familiar with Spock's Beard, they are a big prog borderline metal band, and Deep Purple, Steve Morris, and they leave off Transatlantic, and they leave off Kansas, because Steve Morris was in Kansas for a while too.
Right.
So, yeah.
I mean,
It's not.
sorry, with anything with Portnoy in it, it's tight as hell. Tight as hell. He's such an amazing musician.
Machine.
And any bass player.
Ding, ding on the amazing
sorry.
one.
Sorry. And he usually has a.
What about Fabulous?
There we go. I'll use that right now. And he usually has a fabulous bass player to back him up. He does. Who's? I'm drawing a blank now.
For Dream Theater?
No. For Winery Dogs.
Oh, Billy Sheehan.
Yeah, from Mr. Big. Those two lock up.
Okay. Flying Colors came out in 2012. Winery Dogs, I believe, came out in late 2012, early 2013. I own both albums with this, and I'm telling you right now, Flying Colors album it outdoes
Really?
the
You
Winery
think
Dogs. But you have to take it. It's a different type of sound.
Right.
It's
right.
a different wall of sound.
Right.
I challenge anybody that listens to this, listen to the Winery Dogs album. It's a great album.
I love it.
But listen to this album next and go in it with an open mind of you're going to get a little bit of everything.
Right. That's a fair assessment.
It's super clean. It's super precise. Even if you don't like that type of music, you'll appreciate the skills that these guys
Well,
have
like,
because
yeah,
it's
respect
so
it.
they're so machine-like and precision. I mean, just absolute consummate musicianship. It's ridiculous.
And it's not ego-driven either.
Oh, absolutely not.
And you
I
watch,
don't think so at all.
I have the
They
you know,
just have that confidence,
they do.
and it's
That they
not.
know what the hell they're doing,
Oh,
and they're
it's
going to
just-
do it, and they can get away with it. Type
That's,
thing.
And you can watch a Q&A with them working together and everything else. And Casey McPherson is the young dog in it, and he's just listening to what all these guys are saying. Like, this would sound good if you do this, or if you sang it this way. And everybody just is kind of, they absorb whatever everybody else is talking about.
So they're an actual band. They're not writing in the studio. The drummer comes and does his parts. Like, all right, hey, bass player's up next.
No, that's not how
bring
it
him in.
goes. No.
You phone it in, get
Yeah.
drunk, and
Yep.
send your parts across country like Queensryche did. and-
Yep.
Yeah.
So before we move on, Nez, let me ask you this question: would I listen to the Winery Dogs album first, then Flying Colors, or should I listen to?
Okay, Winery Dogs, it's a power trio, correct? Is that what
Yeah.
Albert, what would you think? It's a power trio. You're getting a power sound. With Flying Colors, it's a fusion style. All this
Yeah.
tightness from different,
Areas of the band.
yes.
So you're going to get a different sound.
You're
but
getting
it's
More
gonna be-
orchestrated.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Winery Dogs, are like a more, is like Rush on steroids.
Russian series.
Really, yeah, to me, because Rush is heavy at some points.
Yeah.
Winery Dogs they're heavy all the way through. And, what's his name? The singer.
Richie Kotzen?
Yeah. Plays with his fingers, so that adds a really different tone. He's not
There's no
picking.
guitar pick with Richie Kotzen.
Yeah, and it's fast, and he makes those weird faces when he plays, but he does. He makes some weird
I
faces.
have to, you have to think about, style for style. Steve Morris, Richie Kotzen on guitar, Dave LaRue on bass, or Billy Sheehan. Vocal sound, Richie Kotzen to Casey McPherson. I would probably have to say, if I was going to be being all honest with you, if Richie Kotzen's vocals were on Flying Colors instead of McPherson, I think it would probably be a little bit more electric. But
Right.
they were looking for a different sound.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think it's very precise, like I said before the show, I don't think any of them would mess up or make a mistake if you were shooting tennis ball cannons at them. They would just incorporate that into the song, and I don't think if you were listening with headphones and the blindfold on, you wouldn't notice a thing.
Well, here's an interesting thing, and this is not the Flying Colors thing, but Transatlantic had Mike Portnoy and Neil Morris together. That was one of the bands,
okay.
and it was considered a super group. And when Neil Morris decided to leave pure rock and roll and go into Christian rock, Mike Portnoy he said he could not do Transatlantic music without Neil Morris. That's how. There's no ego
Right.
involved with it. He said, "What's the purpose if I don't have Neil Morris in this band?" So this says a lot about these guys.
Well, like I've said about other guys, I've actually said this about Sammy Hagar, actually. Portnoy would be one of those guys that, like, if you happen to be in LA and in a bar and he's in there, he'd sit down next to you and have a beer with you and bullshit with you, He's just like a
regular
down,
guy.
yeah, just a down to earth kind of guy, not like ego driven, like you said,
Scott Wyman.
Yeah. There's just I just
mature.
Think,
Yeah.
He's
I
just
think
mature.
These guys get in. Neil Morris goes into and he's a deeply religious man. His high is Christianity, and that's what it is. Steve Morris and Davey LaRue, these guys are fusion magicians and musicians.
They kind of are. Yeah.
They are. And then you have Mike Portnoy, who's pretty much the guru of. Wow, what was that?
That was a taser.
Sounds like a taser. Yeah.
Don't tase me, man.
Anyway,
Hey,
and then you have Portnoy that likes to experiment with all different of levels of hard rock, rock and roll, and heavy metal, and whatever else. Who knows?
He's a drum scholar.
Yeah, he really is. I mean, he drummed for Dream Theater, and he's taken over and finishing out dates with Twisted Sister.
Yep.
Helping out because AJ passed away.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I think it's a non-ego driven band and brand.
Yeah.
And I really believe that this band will come out with a few more albums out of it because it's not a money-driven thing. They're doing it for their creative.
There's no way
Juices.
that it's going to sell big.
It-
That's the downfall of
yeah.
having such, a band like this in Dream Theater is that you're always underneath everybody's radar because it just goes over so many people's heads,
Yep,
and they
it's too
just
much.
don't appreciate it.
Yeah, it's too
It's
much
kind of like
for
the
them.
ballet. You either love it or hate it,
Yeah.
or you just don't want to
That's
deal.
a
You don't want to
really
deal
good
with it at all.
comparison.
You don't
Yeah.
want to deal with
And unfortunately, a lot of bands get.
It's kind of, but the thing is, it's not highbrow. It doesn't come off as highbrow. We're better than you. We've got all this to prove, like Dream Theater did sometimes.
Yes.
Let's just
See,
go
I'm not
so
a-
over top, which I like. I've always been attracted to all the prog rock type
Yeah.
of stuff, which we're missing. Our missing guy here was his pick, and I was kind of excited about it because I did listen to Voivod, and they had a lot of different prog rock stuff to it. So I think they were influential. So I've always liked that kind of stuff. So I did like the Dream Theater, except for the singer. But
Well,
the singers ruin everything.
This is a good segue before we get into your pick. Is like Matt had brought on his idea was to bring on Voivod Nothing Face, and Voivod was not your typical band. A typical metal band. They brought in alternative rock styles to it. They brought in different sounds. They brought in
belting
fusion.
pop.
It was
Yes.
kind of like progressive punk
Yes.
There
in
you
some
go.
ways. I felt that it was raw, but it was also they were really tight with some of the time signatures and time signature changes.
Didn't Newstead join that band for a little bit? A little bit. Yes, the last album.
Did he
Jason
really?
Newsted, yeah.
Wow.
Last album he was on
If
that.
I knew that, I forgot it.
I think, we're leading, this would, if Matt was here and he did his segue from Voivod to this, it would have been a good, because Voivod was a fusion band and they didn't go by what tradition was.
Right.
Flying Colors is a fusion band too.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't call Flying Colors hard rock, I wouldn't call them heavy metal, I would call them a rock band. That's what it was,
Yeah.
Well, that's.
Very
Sorry.
No, go for it.
This is why I love doing this because, and like I already knew about Flying Colors because you gave me that heads up. Why don't you give me a call? But what was your pick again? Sorry.
Nikki Hill?
Nikki Hill. At first, I knew it wasn't Lauren Hill, but that's the only thing that popped in my head. But no, I'm definitely gonna check that out. So I mean, I don't know. It's cool to have all these different people. Like I've already heard Voivod, and obviously what you're bringing is a freaking masterpiece. So.
Hey, and we'll jump right into it, Albert, because the subtitle of this podcast, "The Library of Forgotten Rock and Roll," which could we consider Montrose one of those? I
No.
mean,
No.
I
No.
think they're right up there.
Here's the thing about Montrose, before you get into this, Albert. I don't think that they're forgotten, but I think sometimes they are highly overlooked.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. They're second. They go on the second shelf,
Yep.
and people do bring it out.
I can't wait to start talking about this.
I know.
and then kind of rediscover it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Albert, well, with that being said, let me add that he brought the original vinyl, which we're going to get a picture with it before you leave, if you don't mind.
Oh, yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. Actually, we should have been doing that earlier.
All the pictures.
With everybody.
We will
Yeah.
start doing
Yeah,
this,
we'll do that tonight.
but anyways, you brought it, and you're ready to take this one on.
I had to have
So
show
what-
and tell.
What do we got?
Yeah.
I was going to go out on a limb and pick something weird, odd, something old,
Yeah.
Which I encourage you to do.
which I would normally do it, but then after I seen you guys pick something that were kind of out on the limbs a little bit, I kind of stayed close to my heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Close to the trunk of the tree, I guess you could say.
Okay.
That really kind of still is. I mean, I freaking love this album, and the fact that they did it. And I'll tell you the story. I've got it written down here, so I'll have to read with my Rocky reading skills.
Well, the thing about this, every time we do a podcast,
Yeah.
we're all Rocky grads except for Jake.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
He's
I'm a graduate. So.
He's a UT. Yep.
So anyway, I picked Montrose because when it came out, I was way too young. I was 9 years old, so didn't even know when it came out. 5 years later, when I started playing guitar, my older cousin, it's always the older cousin's fault, right?
Yeah.
Right.
He always gets you into the trouble. It teaches you things you shouldn't know. 5 years too early. He started introducing me to Ted Nugent, Amboy Dukes, Montrose. I mean, all these different groups.
Yeah.
So this is one of the first ones, and I think actually he probably gave me this album
Awesome.
back in '76 maybe. So Authentico. Came out in '74. Ted Templeton, which of course Van Halen. Now, and I've got a goofy story right here for that. It was Sammy's first attempt at writing songs, which Ronnie gave him the chance for these songs. Bad Motor Scooter. You can kind of read a couple of these. One Thing on My Mind, Make It Last.
Rock Candy?
Rock Candy.
Yeah.
They were all his first attempts at writing songs, being a songwriter. So I think he did pretty well. You know, the opening to Space Station 5, when that guitar just pops in, it's so simple, but at the same time, it hits me like a freaking hammer in my chest every time.
Yeah.
You know, because it's just got the freaking groove that you want in a simple, just humongous guitar. That being said, before that, Montrose, Ronnie played with Edgar Winter. I never knew.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
I never knew that he was the guitar player on Frankenstein.
Sammy Hagar was?
No, Ronnie Montrose.
Ronnie Montrose was.
Ronnie Montrose. Before they began,
no idea.
Montrose. He played with Edgar Winter. He played with Van Morrison, Boz Scaggs.
Oh, wow.
I never knew. And so I started doing a little more. He was touring with Edgar Winter because Edgar wanted to do some sort of like little rock combo type of thing. He wanted to change. And so he went with those guys. He kind of just went from being a garage player to BAM, being introduced to these big well-known guys. And so he kind of just got thrust into being a rock star.
Right into it.
And the same thing with this album. They met, and 1 month later they formed the band. A month after that, after they signed with Ted Templeton, 1 month later, this album was born. So within 2 months, form a band. 1 month later,
Write music.
Montrose
There you go.
is recorded and born. So, I mean, that's just ridiculous.
Like-
Axl Rose took how long to do that?
Hey, easy.
So, Axl got lost.
Well, here's the thing, and we can branch off of this, which we will, is that this album branched off of the Montrose family tree. Sammy Hagar's solo projects went into Van Halen. You went to Ronnie Montrose's, and then he went into Gamma 1, Gamma 2, Gamma 3.
Young dudes.
Yeah, I mean, you want to talk about you want to talk about Gamma 4. You want to talk about this thing started a family tree that went huge.
Oh yeah, and there's a story where Ted.
Hagar doesn't look like Sammy.
No, he was so young there, and like I said, he was playing in a soul band. They were doing Tower of Power stuff.
Yeah.
They were doing James Brown stuff. So that's the kind of stuff they were doing. And when he met Ronnie, he actually went with his guitar player to the gig, watched Ronnie, and he told his guitar player, "Man, I want you to do some of that stuff. You should play like that." And the guy said, "Well, I don't want to play that kind of stuff." And basically, Sammy said, "Well, I do." But they got into it that night, and the band broke up that very night because they went to see Ronnie Montrose. And so they met him backstage. They kind of got together. Sammy already had Bill Church in his pocket for a bass player. 2 months later, boom.
Okay, so here's the question I
ridiculous.
have is that, because I haven't done a whole lot of research on the Montrose stuff as far as the technicalities of it. And Sammy Hagar did a lot of guitar work and his solo stuff, lead guitar work. How much guitar work did he do in the Montrose stuff?
Pretty much none.
Nothing at all.
He was a singer and songwriter.
Gotcha. Because I really thought it was, how it worked out with Van Halen, how he would chirp in with some of the rhythm stuff. And
Right. Oh, he's great. No, he's a great guitar player. And actually, they, what they did with Ted Templeton was going to sign Van Halen. Okay. the first Van Halen, actually, they were playing together. Van Halen, Sammy Hagar, the Red Rocker, Boston, and have us here some Black Sabbath in '77. Sammy and Eddie met backstage. Eddie walks in, says, "Man, I love Montrose. I'm all about Montrose." They start talking here and there. Anyway, they get kind of hooked up, right? Templeton basically named the first. He was signing Van Halen, but they were called. They were called something else. And
You
the
should
bubble,
know this.
my bubble just popped.
The Dutch Boys of the Netherlands.
I don't want to say something with a mammoth in it or something.
Was it
I can't remember.
It was
but I
something.
think we
Yeah.
talked about it before.
Anyway,
Yes.
anyway, he wanted him to change the name to the guitar player's name, to the band name to the guitar player's name, just like Montrose. He basically, after they signed him, they were in the recording studio. He actually brought the Montrose album into the studio. Said, "Okay, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do this many songs, and they're gonna be at this certain tempo." So he basically, that first Van Halen album was modeled or patterned off of the Montrose album.
That's nuts.
So there's your connection. Years later, who was to know that Sammy was going to end up in Van Halen?
Right.
And he actually told them at that time in 77, 78, when they recorded the first Van Halen album, he actually told them, and I've got it here, he actually said, "Why don't you hire Sammy? He's been thrown out of Montrose."
Really?
In the
So right off
studio.
the bat,
So even back at that first Van Halen, so it was kind of destiny, I suppose,
How different would that first Van Halen record be?
with Sammy.
With Sammy, then.
Isn't that crazy? Okay, so
would
would Dave come later?
Right.
But that's the thing is like here's the problem was with that situation was I just don't think that Sammy could have sang those songs with
Absolutely
Dave.
not.
No.
You know, I mean, I've heard Sammy's version of Jump, and it's a train wreck. You know?
Yeah.
Well, just like Iron Maiden did Space Station, what was it, Space Station 5? I didn't even know they'd do it. And it's terrible. It really is terrible.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, it's so dry studio, no feel to it, no heart to it. It's just pure.
It's just them, like we said earlier. Drummer goes to the studio,
Just-
does his track.
Yeah,
Bass
it's
player
just
goes
so
in, does his
it's
track.
so flat and heartless. It's just a copy. I mean, it's a
sucks.
really bad copy.
Well, here's the thing, and this is where Victor usually interjects on this one, but I'm going to steal it from him. Is that a lot of our young members of the Quad City Music Lovers, Collectors, and Traders, they don't dig into the archives and try to find out what the bands that they listen to, within the 10-year span, maybe was their influence.
Well,
Right.
Check it out.
Yeah,
Well,
they go 20 years back, and that's old stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, like I was telling you guys before we started recording, Mick Mars ripped off Bad Motor Scooter, that opening lick, right? That's
Oh,
one?
he's not the only one. Yeah.
Right, but he's been open about it too.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, because that was opening Kickstart My Heart. And,
Every guitar player has tried that.
oh yeah, and it's just one of those things where he was actually getting interviewed by Eddie Trunk, and he admitted that like every time he hears if he's got his iPod or whatever on shuffle, it takes him a second to figure out what song's actually playing because it's so similar. And Mick Martin's like, yeah, 100%, I ripped it off. He goes, and I'd do it again in a heartbeat. He goes, that's my me paying respect to Montrose for what they taught me as a guitar player. And I mean. What year did this record come out? 75?
74.
74.
Well, actually, it released 73. October 73.
Then the first Motley record came out in 81. Damn good. It came out in 81, so I mean, there was enough time for Mick Mars to get influenced by it. And obviously that big ball that keeps on rolling, there's other people that are influenced by Mick Mars, and it goes down and down and down. If you're a guitar player, you think you want to go back and find out where, all right, well, I'm influenced by Mick Mars or whatever. Who was he influenced
Where'd he
by?
get it? Right.
Yeah,
Right.
it's just,
Right. Besides
There's-
the obvious, Zeppelin, Hendrix, like everybody else.
there's more, and the sad part is, like, much like Iron Maiden, you don't hear these guys on the radio.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Yeah, it's criminal that we don't hear Montrose on 97X or Q106.
Right.
Oh, that's
You
just-
might hear it. You
I
might
can-
hear it late at night.
I can still today listen to every single song on this album, and without skipping a single one.
Right, and it's just like you said, it's criminal, and we don't hear that stuff on the radio.
It's just one of those solid albums that I don't care, especially guitar players, you just have to have it.
Well, so here's my question to you now. So, knowing that you're such the Montrose fan you are, did you get into the Gamma stuff?
No,
You did not.
no, I didn't.
And you just didn't like the sound? or-
You know, I think I was just, life was just too busy.
Oh, okay.
So I just didn't taste enough of it.
Gotcha.
I think I got it, but I think I just kind of passed it up.
Gotcha.
So I just hadn't had time to sit.
Because I believe the Gamma
taste
stuff, they came out with 4 albums, and
Yeah.
Montrose came out with 2, is that
2.
correct? And the Montrose, once again, is a fusion with that alternative sound to it. With Davey, help me out, guys,
Davey
for
Jones.
Gamma. Not that dude.
Davey Havoc.
And that's
Let's not get onto that.
Anyway, once again, I can't remember the lead singer's name. I'll draw a blank, and I'll kick myself in the ass after this podcast is over with. But Gamma came out with 4 albums with Ronnie Montrose on guitar, and it was so fusion-esque. It was so experimental, very experimental. When they did the tribute to Ronnie Montrose on Access TV, they had Mark Bonilla on guitar, the left-handed guitar player.
yeah.
Did his parts for him because he was, once again, it was an experimental type sound.
Yeah.
That being said, segue.
Yeah, awesome. I'm sorry, I don't want to. This is awesome. You got to get this up on the page somehow. But right now, you're
video.
showing us a video
Of us practicing up here.
Oh,
This is so
isn't
cool.
that awesome?
This area, it's actually facing this way, that
Okay.
way.
Okay.
I know. I wish it was a better
That-
video. The wife sent it to me
That's
in
awesome.
bits.
And that way you have to send it to me so we can
Yeah.
upload it to
I
our
can
page.
put some up.
Cool.
here.
I mean, if you got it,
Yeah,
if
because
it's
we've got-
on your phone, all you do is click on Facebook, upload a video, and I think that's
We got to
pretty-
get it on. So,
So anyway, back to the
back to the
Montrose
Montrose stuff. So,
Anyway, here's a funny thing that I kind of I got with the Bad Motor Scooter. How he created it was a little double cutaway Les Paul Jr.
Oh, cool.
Okay, little Junior, electro harmonics, big muff Phillips tone, and a Fender Bandmaster. And he was just playing with the open D, playing around with it. And he says he's probably doing some Edgar Winter kind of stuff, Johnny Winter type of riffs. And everybody just kind of yelled stop at the same time, and then they went in and recorded it.
That's
because
so
he was,
cool.
and because it made a little motorcycle, little shifting gear sound, and they went with it. So very simple. I mean, I just can't get over the fact that 2 months went into this album. Basically, 1 month went into recording the album, and it turned out to be such a long-lasting.
One of the biggest.
It's huge. Every guitar player should own it.
Oh, but yeah, by far.
this is the first release then, right?
Yeah,
First. Yeah.
Did they ever re-release that and put bonus songs or anything like that on there? Or is it just always
Not
just
that I
been
know of. No, it's just that. I think it stands alone.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Just kaboom.
Well, I believe they did clean it up for a CD remaster.
Yeah,
Did they not?
yeah, the remaster.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for like re-releases with like a bonus
Sure.
track or like a lot. I've seen like when the Ramones did all theirs.
Yeah.
They didn't do bonus discs because their songs are so short anyway. But they would do like one of the CDs, the bonus tracks was a whole live show. You know what I mean? So I mean, I'm a sucker for those. I buy those every freaking time.
Yeah, it's hard to find other Montrose stuff. You can get some videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
You know,
I think they did a midnight special or something to do.
oh, I'm sure.
think they
yeah,
did.
because they did a European.
Yeah.
Old
Kettle Whistle
And
or
they
something
always,
like that?
they always had those type of those shows.
What's really sad is that right before Ronnie died, Sammy Hagar was trying to get them together
Yes.
to do a reunion for
Yes.
his birthday bash.
Yep, down in Cabo.
Yep, down in Cabo, because he's going to do a whole thing, like get Montrose together and do a Montrose set.
Yes.
Then he's going to have Michael Anthony, and they're going to do like the Van Halen and the Sammy solo stuff.
Well, then what ended up being was the tribute to Ronnie Montrose
Yeah.
with Mark Bonilla.
Yep.
When they did the Gamma stuff.
Yeah.
Now here's my question to you guys. Would you feel like Hagar's kind of got that Dave Grohl thing with like not a lot of people are on his boat, but they think he's good for rock and roll. Because I think Sammy Hagar is great for rock and roll. I think.
See, Montrose, he was what? 20, 21, if that.
Yeah.
So that was his
Super
first
young.
band, and he did a phenomenal job.
Super
Yeah.
young.
You know, and then like he got asked to join Van Halen. He did that, but before that, he was doing his solo stuff too.
Yeah.
And that was just him standing alone. You know.
Yeah.
So
Red
I-
Rock.
Yeah, but he
Yeah.
had a great band.
He did.
Sammy Hagar's solo stuff. He had a great.
Yeah, but
Yeah, before Van Halen.
I don't think that it was necessarily. He's not necessarily like the guy that's trying to jump on everything that rocks. You know what I mean? Well, he did Chickenfoot too, though.
Chickenfoot,
so,
he's
yeah,
got the circle out now, right?
Oh yeah, the circle's good.
But here's the problem.
It's
is
just what
here's
he
the
does.
difference when you're saying that because you're trying to do the Duff McKagan comparison. I can tell where you're going right now. All right? Is that Sammy Hagar creates stuff. Now
Okay,
the
there you
Duff
go.
McKagan stuff, the Loaded stuff, the punk rock stuff.
That's all
I'll
his.
give you that. But when I'm seeing Duff McKagan jump into Mad Season, then he's jumping to Jane's Addiction.
Yeah.
Just
I-
looking for work.
It's well, he's got a obviously it pays very well for him. He's paid very well, but it's not original stuff. A lot of stuff what he's doing is not
But
original.
that's why I said, Grohl instead, because Grohl does have like some original things.
He's
Oh, yeah.
very original.
So that's why I'm
That's all
saying.
he does.
Do you
Yeah.
think Hagar's kind of along that same
Robot.
boat where a lot of people don't really dig him, but they appreciate what he does for rock?
I would put Sammy Hagar and Dave Grohl in the same category. They try different things. They do different things. They do
create.
whatever.
They're
They create.
always doing music.
And they're always
Every day they live it.
when most of the time they're successful at it, even this day and age. Really.
And I think their attitudes are pretty parallel too, because
Yeah.
they're just happy-go-lucky dudes, and that's what they want to do with
I
their
mean-
lives. They don't do anything but be a family man, and they play music. That's
like,
it.
Like we were discussing about Dave Grohl before. How many people would you know being a band the size of Foo Fighters are, which are probably one of the biggest touring rock bands right now?
Yeah.
Inviting some kid on stage because he had a sign that says, "Hey, I want to play drums."
Yeah.
Right.
It doesn't really happen. I mean,
No.
if you're
I would totally see Sammy Hagar doing something.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like I just
I would totally see him doing
Oh, he always does. Yeah, he's always got people on stage. He's very approachable.
yeah. Like when we first started doing this, one of his first picks was, what was it? The Running with the Devil, the country tribute to
the
Van
Strumming
Halen.
with the Devil.
Yeah, Strumming with. And
was.
when we got on the topic of Sammy Hagar, I was like, one thing about Sammy is that like over David Lee Roth is that Sammy you could run into, have a beer, have a shot of Cabo with, and sit down next to you and be a cool guy.
Yeah.
Same thing I think with Dave Grohl. I think if you ran into Dave Grohl in an elevator, you'd be like, oh hey, what's up, guy?
I would love to pick Dave Grohl's mind. I just started watching Sonic Highways.
Oh dude.
Oh man, the Chicago episode's great right off the bat. So.
The whole series of brilliant.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch
I recorded the whole series. You can find it.
Yeah,
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
on
already,
Highway Sings.
I already got it, so it's pretty awesome. So, but this is, guys, I gotta say, this is probably one of our, I think, best discussed episodes. Albert Mann, again, thanks for coming on.
Albert Myers.
Albert Myers
had
of
fun.
Next Level Fitness. Thank you.
Not Albert Mann.
I would say-
Stop up, work out, jump in the pool.
and we are
Jump on the pool is
One
a
of
fun ride. Where I can fit in that.
we are scheduled to swing by Next Level, right?
Yeah, it's
We are gonna
poolside.
our podcast is going to take us to Next Level Fitness on August 20th.
Oh, there you go. So
Poolside.
we'll plug that show. We want to get some people coming in Next Level. You
Still
know,
be
it's-
hot.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be, but great pick. Dude, I'm stoked he brought the vinyl today.
Yeah.
So I
You
mean,
always have to show and tell.
yeah, it's always a good a plus. It's always welcome. But Albert, we can't thank you enough for sponsoring. Can't thank you enough for being on the show. So
I
thank
appreciate
you
being here.
once again.
You guys are great. Thank you.
And this is what we do.
I hope I pass
Yeah,
the
this is what we're
audition.
doing, and we're still waiting for we're waiting for the T-shirts to be manufactured, and you'll be the first one to get one. You and our other sponsor, Bob Harrington, Rabbit Records.
Is it the new one that we talked about? The
The
Halloween?
the Halloween version.
Halloween-y
yes.
cover.
Me and Bob get the number one on. I'm number one.
Yeah, we'll stitch it into your.
You'll get right on the sleeve.
Well, if you know Bob Harrington, he's got high demand, so you might be number two.
But speaking of Bob Harrington, Ragged Records, 418 East 2nd Street, Davenport, Iowa. Great record store. Make sure you check out our partners, Rock Island Brewing Company. We'll be at the Great White Show. I'm sure by the time this is up, it'll already have passed. But again,
Manana for our time.
Yeah. So, but keep on the lookout for more shows that they'll be announcing soon. Whispers of some shows maybe in October that are pretty.
There's some big rumors going around downtown Rock Island. There's going to be some legendary performances.
Okay, we have to talk about that when this is done.
We'll
I don't
see.
know what the fuck you guys are talking about.
Pullman Mark Reedy for all your above and below
In ground.
Pool. Did you
Just
say
because
below?
they're above doesn't mean they're below.
Yeah, sorry.
They're
In
in ground and above ground.
Yeah, if they're below
Pools,
ground, you
insulation.
walk on top of it.
Underground.
Installation
ice
sales
skating in the
and service. Make sure you give him a call. We'll put his stuff up on the show. Hopefully this is that point where it says ding. Anyways,
You pay him enough, he'll put a pool anywhere.
yeah, there you go.
And he will too, man. He
And
will.
once again, Albert Myers, Next Level Fitness. Reach your next level with dedication, motivation, friendship, and fun. 3102 29th Street, Moline, Illinois.
Cool gym.
Excuse me. Yeah, very cool gym. I'm looking forward to sitting poolside and doing
Yeah,
another
and he's
one.
got some awesome pools.
Awesome. So we are looking forward to going in. Again, thank you so much. Awesome. Hopefully you don't mind a picture with us, and we will put it up on the Facebook page.
Sweet.
Awesome.
And with the Montrose album.
with the Montrose album.
Yeah.
So
And
make
we're
sure,
all going to touch it with one finger.
yes, just one thing. Make sure you
Four
guys
guys,
are
four
checking out
corners.
the Quad City Music Lovers, Collectors, Traders Facebook page. Very interactive group, very colorful members. A lot of interaction between our good friends and our good family. Make sure you
around
like
the world.
the side C pocket, the Metal Canuck. Yes.
Yeah.
And the thing is that we want to preach to people is that join the group, but be respectful to what other people like. Do not slam them because they like something. Be respectful and do it with confidence that we're not going to rip somebody another a-hole.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
We're all in this together.
Yes,
Right.
indeed. We'll give each other shit from time to time, but
yeah.
you know it's all in
It's
good
usually
fun.
people that we know, though, that
Yeah.
we're doing it to. Like, I won't blast, like, those guys from, like, where the hell, like someone from Italy, right? We got some people from Italy on there.
We have Italy, we have Belgium, we have the Netherlands, we have you name
Right
it.
here in the good Quad Cities. With
Oh, we have plenty of those.
Amy, we're not going to talk about Nicki Minaj anymore. Anyway, so again, thanks. Interact. Make sure you guys like the Side Seat Podcast page. Does not Next Level have a Facebook page?
Facebook, Next Level Fitness, Albert and Rhonda Myers.
Awesome. Yep, so make sure you guys get up on that. Nez, any parting words, man?
There's a couple parting words I need to say is that number one, we'd like to think that we promoted a great audience to the Melvin Show, correct?
Yes.
We'd like to think that.
Yeah.
We want to promote Ribco because what Jason Paris and Ribco does, they bring in some great talent in there.
Yeah.
You guys need to soak that up because it's pretty cutting edge stuff.
Yeah.
And go there. Get there. Look at the calendar. Go to Ribco and look at their music calendar and attend a show. Support what these guys are doing. Look at Rascals Live. Look what they're bringing in. Support it. Go there. Be there. You know, if you can only go to one show a month, so be it. But make sure you get to these local venues that are bringing in talent.
Yeah.
Get there.
Don't let them die.
Yeah, because as I say, I'm gonna be pissed if they all start dying.
'Cause it will die.
And be on the lookout for the stuff that we put out. Like we were talking about earlier, you know, maybe if necessarily the rock thing isn't your style, maybe you can get some independent, alternative, you know, pop stuff with Day Trotter coming up and their partnership with Ragged. Turntable Tuesdays at Ribco between Ragged and Ribco. Hell, I'm sure they'll love
And
to hear Purple Rain.
if
I'll bring
you're into
some-
alternative
I'll bring some
music,
stuff.
Yeah.
get down to Roztalks.
Yeah.
Moeller
Yeah.
Mondays. Sean Moeller from Day Trotter. Get down there. He's bringing some new talent down there all the time.
We just want the music scene to have another heartbeat here in the Quad Cities, right? That's what we're doing. That's why we do what we do. We love it here.
And why is that? Because we've lost the Call Ballroom. We lost Palmer Auditorium. We've lost two major venues that used to bring in major talent to us. So
cheap prices.
at very reasonable prices. Don't let this stuff slip away. If you are worried about a babysitter or something like that, there is a redhead girl in Rock Island, Illinois with freckles. She's going to be 14 years old and she's going to Washington Junior High. contact me.
Responsible.
She is very responsible, and she will take care of your kids. Get to a show.
Yep.
There you go. Hey, what's your excuse now?
So
right.
make sure you
That
guys
way-
are checking out our stuff. Albert, you got some words?
No, I was just going to say that way Derek doesn't. He can cut off her allowance when she starts
Yeah, there you go.
earning her own.
There you go. So it's people like
It's important.
Yeah,
This is very important, and we've never realized how important this is as the more we've dived into this, right,
Yeah.
guys?
Right. Well, because pretty soon it's gonna be gone if we don't help.
so do it. It's up to people like Quake. It's up to people like Nez, me, and Mr. Albert Myers. Once again, thank you. Thank you, sir. And we'll leave it at that. So support local music, support everything.
And the one last thing I want to say is that this podcast is dedicated to our brother Matt Wilkins
Yes.
and Aaron Wilkins, and we're feeling for you right now, man. We love you guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nabrasta. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Check out all the links.
Hey, one more thing. As Matt Wilkins said, Ricky Martin is a good-looking man.
Yes, he is. Thanks, guys.